The king of Xbox YouTube back at it again with yet another Xbox related video because I am an Xbox YouTuber. I'm actually filming this on Sunday night, late night, when some breaking news just happened involving a situation that we talked about yesterday on the channel. So I want to talk about what we discussed in that video, what was discussed that just happened, and then just share my overall thoughts on it. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But yesterday we talked about a potential situation looming with Target and Walmart and them not really planning to have Xbox stuff when it comes to their upcoming planograms and their changing of the stuff that they have on the shelf floor for the upcoming holiday season. Various people that allegedly worked at Target and Walmart were saying in a Reddit thread that essentially they were not seeing Xbox on the planogram. They were removing Xbox things, and Xbox wasn't going to have much, if any, sort of a shelf space when it comes to this upcoming holiday season and potentially in the future when it comes to these two retailers. Now, we did see Costco and Sam's Club, of course, liquidate a lot of Xbox stock when it comes to the consoles and stuff like that. And that obviously was its own little thing. But when you start talking about Target and Walmart, that's obviously a bit of a bigger story. And this story caught on like wildfire. Obviously, things have been somewhat volatile when it comes to talking about Xbox stuff. But I think a lot of it is rooted in reality because there are a lot of questions that kind of surround the Xbox brand going forward in 2025 and the future. We had reports about the system that's coming out sometime next year or potentially in 2027, potentially in doubt as well. It's been a bit of a messy situation when it comes to Xbox. But I feel like a lot of this is brought on by Xbox themselves and just their decision making in handling different situations when it comes to their brand. This isn't something that has just popped up out of the blue. This is because of years of frustration with how Xbox has handled things. Well, like I said, we do have an update. And it's coming to us from my favorite, totally unbiased Microsoft and Xbox related website in the world. Obviously, there is no ulterior motives to promote positive Xbox stuff from here. Windows Central. Boy, oh boy. So Windows Central just put out a report. No, Target and Walmart are not removing Xbox products from their stores as Xbox misinformation reaches new levels. You're starting to sound like Nintendo guys throwing around that misinformation cue point that they love to do that. Like, do you not understand why these things are happening? So, a new rumor that started this weekend that's now blown out of proportion as usual. Darn you. Why don't you believe? Why don't you think everything is great with Xbox? Late in Saturday evening, Redditors flocked to the Xbox subreddit as someone claimed their local Target had begun removing the Xbox section from their store. Then various blog websites who seem oddly invested in the concept of Xbox. Bro, this is so backhanded stuff. First off, it was not someone claiming that their Target, their local Target, this was people that worked there. Okay, this was people that allegedly, mind you, worked at Target and worked at Walmart. These are not just random accounts that are just saying these things. Now, you can say, well, maybe they were just making it up or something like that. But we have other sorts of evidence that kind of points to something like this potentially happening more so than it not. I just don't like all this sort of backhanded nonsense like, get over yourself, dude. From this post spawned a number of stories where other Redditors began sharing that they hadn't seen stock within their local Target or Walmart stores. Counter reports came in from various sources, such as Dustin Legary, who's a diehard Xbox fanboy. I just called my local Walmart to ask if they were discontinuing or pulling any Xbox stock. They said, at least to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything about like clearing inventory or anything like that or being discontinued. They also said they still have them in stock. Well, there it is, folks. There it is. Close up shop. The Walmart that Dustin Legary called and talked to the cashier electronics employee who knows nothing, by the way. Like, dude, we used to go to our Walmart. It was this old man named Max, and like you would try to ask him for like video games, like, oh, I have to go in the case and get that. It's like, yeah, this is your job. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, the employee isn't a trusted individual, but they're also not going to say something like, yeah, we're getting rid of all that shit. Like, what do you expect to happen here? We also spoke to a Target employee on our end who also discredited claims of wider Xbox removal. Even the legendary Xbox alumni, Larry Major Nelson, who's, I can't stand that guy. I got beef with that dude. He's a piece of crap in my opinion, in stating, all I know is I went to a couple Target and GameStop stores this week and did find Xbox hardware and games for sale. I even did a little investigative work by going to my local Target during an unrelated errand where I stopped by to check the shelves. Sure enough, everything was there except the consoles themselves. Okay. When I checked their website, I noticed that not a single Xbox Series X was available, but multiple Series S's were. But Xbox stock does tend to fluctuate heavily, as Microsoft seems to manufacture them practically to order these days. Well, why do you think that is? Because they're not exactly selling. But like, you just happen to go to a couple Target and GameStop stores this week just for the hell of it? Like, why do I sense a little bit of doubt with that? Why do I sense a little bit of you know, just posturing? And you know, and we'll get into why I feel that way. The Xbox Series X is regularly sold out, as Microsoft seems practically fearful of creating oversupply situations. Yeah, that's definitely something that they are worried about with those price increases. It's constantly sold out. We've seen the sales data that leaked about how many systems they've sold. We definitely know that that's entirely true. And then Microsoft came along and gave us a statement noting that Walmart and Target are still committed partners for Xbox hardware. Target and Walmart, among other retailers, remain committed partners for Xbox consoles, accessories, and games. And here's where I have problems, because this is clearly a PR person that they talk to. This is clearly a PR person who, of course, is going to say something like that. Misinformation is generally worse ever thanks to AI and bots. But shut the hell up, man. But Microsoft has earned itself plenty of negativity. Where's all this misinformation coming from? And what will it take to turn the tide? And we're not reading all this stuff. But this is just another PR answer. It's a PR answer. Of course, you really think they're going to go out of their way? Like, oh, shit, they're on to us. We need to tell Windows Central. We need to tell Windows Central that you guys have the exclusive. Do you not remember that this is the company that said it was only 4 games that were going to be coming to PlayStation, and then it was a lot more than 4 games? Do you not remember all the times that Xbox has lied to the consumers or changed their mind because of business strategies, you know, kind of seemingly on a whim, at least from the perspective of the consumer? And it's not like Xbox has built up a lot of trust, because if anything, they haven't built up a lot of trust. And I say this as an Xbox Series X owner. I say this as an Xbox One owner. I say this as an Xbox 360 and an original Xbox owner. Things used to be a lot better when it came to communications and understanding the future of the platform. And now is not the time to be questioning why people would potentially doubt how Xbox is handling things. But there's one thing that was not mentioned in this that I find to be very interesting. And I keep going back to this because I feel like it's an important thing. What have I told you guys time and time again recently about Xbox and their upcoming holiday stuff? In those magazines that I got for buyer's guides for like kids and stuff from both Amazon and Walmart, there is like no Xbox stuff in there. There's PlayStation stuff. There's Nintendo stuff. Why isn't there Xbox stuff? It's the holiday season. Don't you want to sell systems? But I guess if the systems are always sold out because, you know, people are buying Xboxes in droves, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. And you could also say, let me be fair here. You could also say that video game sections and stores are shrinking and, you know, this, that, and the other. You have, the digital push and stuff like that. Like, I get it. I completely understand it. But when I'm looking through these catalogs and there's no Xbox stuff, Xbox is obviously putting themselves in a very precarious position with how they are handling things. The sales of the system haven't been lighting the world on fire. The software sales haven't been lighting the world on fire. You just increased the price of Game Pass as well. Crazy thought, I know, but maybe there is some truth to this. Maybe just a little truth to this. They remain dedicated partners. Well, then what happened with Costco? Why did Costco get rid of stuff and Sam's Club? Like, I don't know. I think it's a bit ridiculous to just act like, there's just negative Xbox information just for the hell of it. And we've gotten to this point where, like, the toxic positivity that I talk about from some people, that's just as egregious as the toxic negativity. I think you have to look at each individual situation as it comes. And if this is the case and Target and Walmart are still going to be carrying Xbox products, and this whole situation is just a miscommunication or some BS that came from a Reddit forum, and a bunch of people just decided to make it all up and, have very similar stories from very different retailers and stuff like that, like, so be it. But you have to look at the bigger picture of the situation and see that there is evidence that points more so to these sorts of things happening when you talk about retailers like Costco and Sam's Club getting rid of their Xbox stuff. When you look at the upcoming holiday catalogs for Amazon and Walmart and there is no Xbox presence, it definitely feels like something is happening. It feels like something is changing, and all because a PR statement comes out. I'm not so sure that I'm going to believe that PR statement, and I don't get the whole, like, blaming the audience thing. Like, oh, everyone just wants Xbox to fail. No, dummy. Everyone wants Xbox to succeed because we want to have multiple consoles and multiple console manufacturers and multiple competition within the video game sphere. But when the writing is on the wall and you start to see the things that are happening with these companies, you can't help but feel a little bit pessimistic, right? I don't know. So where do you stand on this? Do you think it's just a massive overblown situation? Do you think that people on Reddit conspired together to tell these tall tales? That still wouldn't explain why, there's no presence in those catalogs. That still wouldn't explain the Costco situation and stuff like that. But do you think that this is just one giant misunderstanding and everything is fine and Targets and Walmarts will still continue to carry Xbox products going into the future? Or do you think that something bigger is happening? Let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. I still don't like you, Major Nelson. You got snappy with me one time on Twitter, and I didn't appreciate that, pal. I wasn't even talking to you. You found me. I didn't find you because I don't like to bother people that, I think, say some out of pocket stuff. You found me. And I didn't appreciate that. I'm just kidding. I don't really care. I kind of find it funny that, like, he got mad that I said something like, what is Phil Spencer doing? And he was like, he's running a business. And I was like, wow. All right. I guess you got to defend your boyfriend there, pal. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.